G'day everyone, my name is Patrick and I'm the founder of S-Land Method and I'm here today to talk to you about my story. I came here to Australia. I was 21 years old. Before I came to Australia, I was in Lebanon. And Lebanon, for those of you who don't know what Lebanon is, this is a horrible place. The only way for me to leave the country was to do a TOEFL test, an English test, and get an average score, the score that the university was asking for. I had to pass that TOEFL test in 6 months. This test was what's going to decide whether I would leave the country or not leave the country. If I pass it, I leave. If I fail it, then I stay. Well, I had two problems actually, two, not only one. The first problem was that I didn't have enough money. The second problem, I didn't speak a word of English. So basically, I had to teach myself in 6 months. I only had 6 months to take my level from all the way down here to all the way up here. And I thought, I'm gonna buy a book and I'm going to read the story of that book as many times as I can. And I didn't care how many times and how hard it would be to use a dictionary all the time. I was ready to do all that. I was ready to analyze every sentence in that book. I didn't care. I just wanted to suck all the content out of that book. 6 months later, I was much better. I could understand pretty much 80 or 90% of that book. So I went to do the TOEFL test and bingo, I passed it. I passed the TOEFL test. And that's how I got my visa to Australia, and I could leave my country, and that was a very important stage. So I came out here, and I was 21 years old, as I said. I'm not bad in English right now. I can speak a little bit, I can understand a little bit. I can read, I can write, not too bad. But then, 3 months after that, I was at university and I had some uni friends. They were Australians, and they invited me to go camping with them. They were talking super fast and I couldn't understand anything. Not a word. And do you know how I felt? Humiliated. Humiliated. Back in Lebanon, I hated the country, but at least I could talk. At least I had respect. At least people listened to me. I could joke. I could express myself. I could say whatever I wanted to say. But then in Australia, I was nobody. I was nobody. I couldn't speak. I couldn't be who I was. I just stood up and I said, guys, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And they looked at me like, what are you, crazy? Sit down. You just got here. I said, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling that well. I can't stay. I gotta go back home. I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I can't. There was no way that I could keep on living in this country without being able to speak as they do. I wanted to speak as they do. I wanted to be on the same level. I had to be right there. I don't want him to treat me like a foreigner. I don't want him to look down at me. I don't want that to happen. I want to be like one of them. And I was smart enough to be like one of them. So I had to be like one of them. So I went back home and I thought about a plan. I thought, okay, what do I gotta do to improve my speaking and listening? And the answer was, listen to one song or to any audio text. Listen to it as many times as you can. So I got a song, a rap song, one of the fastest type of songs that you can ever listen to. A rap song by Eminem. I was stuck in front of a computer for hours every day. I can't tell you, for hours every day, listening to the same song and repeating, listening, analyzing, and repeating, correcting myself, listening to myself, recording myself, and listening to myself again and again and again and again. And after, repeating, I could actually follow Eminem's speed. I was just as fast as he was. Only with that song, of course. But then I used other rap songs, and it was taking less time for me to follow the rapper. It took 1 month, and then it took 3 weeks, and then it took 2 weeks, and it was taking less and less time to follow the rapper. 8 months after I started doing that, I went for a telemarketing job interview. All right, you know what telemarketing is. I mean, you have to be on the phone. You have to sell things over the phone. You have to be able to speak very well. You got to be able to speak very fluent. So basically, I went for that job interview, and the manager goes, "Where are you from?" Then I said, "Well, guess. Where do you think?" And he said, "Well, you sound American. Whereabouts in America were you born?" And it was so certain that I was born in America. And I had never been to America in my life, in my entire life. Okay? Do you know how I felt? I felt invincible. I felt invincible.
When I had the opportunity to learn English using Coach Patrick's teaching method, I worked really hard to train my mouth muscle to speak fluently and naturally. It wasn't easy to achieve what I have in my life at the moment, and it did require a lot of hard work. But don't worry, Patrick is such a great inspiration for each one of you. You just need the 3 P's: passion, practice, and above all, Patrick. Not to improve your English only, but also your life itself. Now I live in America, people are simply surprised to hear that I was born and raised in Japan until recently. Remember, passion, practice, and Patrick. That's all you need.